The story takes place in Scranton, Pennsylvania in 1913 to 1914, and that was the time of coal mining, vaudeville, evangelism, so there was a lot happening in Scranton at the time. I got the idea for my novel from a family story. My grandmother's sister, Pearl, on the day she was baptized, it happened to be the 4th of July, and she and her friends were playing with sparklers in the backyard, and her dress went up in flames. She survived for 3 days, and according to the story, she sang hymns. As sad as it was what happened to Pearl, I was always interested in her sister Janet, who was in the yard that day. She was only 6 years old, but nobody ever talked about the tragedy in front of Janet, and she didn't have a very happy life. And I always wondered how much of that stemmed from what she saw in the yard that day. The story starts out in September 1913, 2 months after the accident. Violet is blamed for the death of her sister. People in town think that she threw the sparkler at her sister on purpose. Because of the death, the mother goes crazy, the father turns to alcohol, and the whole town turns against the little girl, Violet. The only friend she has is a little boy named Stanley, who probably is the only other one in town without any friends. Stanley is one of the breaker boys in the novel, and he's forced to go to work at the age of 9. And he has to sort coal from slate, so it's back-breaking work, and he cuts his hands. It's just an awful way of life for a child. I have 2 breaker boys in my book. One of them, Tommy, has to go to work because of the death of his father, and the other one simply has to go to work to help out the family. And that's Stanley, and he's a character I never expected in the book at all. But suddenly he walked down the page when my main character, Violet, was in trouble one day and needed some help. I'm Barbara J. Taylor, and I wrote the novel, Sing in the Morning, Cry at Night, which is going to be released on July 1st through Kaylie Jones Books, an imprint of Akashic.
Oh, oh, those ragtime melodies on your violin, that's